a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell, and your full AccuWeather forecast is always on top of your CNC local page. A comment made in a newspaper interview by Republican congressional candidate Chris Collins became an issue this week in his campaign to unseat Democrat Kathy Hochul. Interviewed in the Batavian, Collins seemed to be saying that health care is so expensive these days because people no longer die from breast and prostate cancer. Hochul says that shows a stunning lack of sensitivity because about 70,000 Americans will die from those two forms of cancer each year, according to the American Cancer Society. Collins says he meant to say not as many people die of cancer and simply made a verbal stumble. He said his point was that medicine is better able to treat these diseases, so costs are going up, and he says Hochul was out of line to imply he meant anything else. Congresswoman Hochul, who isn't a complete fan of the Obama health care plan herself, by the way, said it will at least offer preventive care to more Americans and save more lives by catching cancers earlier. She said Collins was getting his facts wrong. Collins is the former Erie County executive running against Hochul for the new 27th District, which lies between Rochester and Buffalo. He was being interviewed by the Batavian newspaper about his desire to repeal President Obama's Affordable Health Care Act, which, like most Republicans, he calls Obamacare. Collins was talking about rising health care costs when he said, "The fact of the matter is, our health care today is so much better, we are living so much longer because of innovations in drug development, surgical procedures, stents, implantable cardiac defibrillators, neural stimulators. They didn't exist 10 years ago." And Collins went on to say the costs keep rising as these new innovations become available. But a lot of people do still die from breast and prostate cancer despite advances in treatment. An estimated 39,920 Americans will die from breast cancer, 28,170 from prostate cancer this year. The American Cancer Society also says uninsured people are less likely to detect cancer in its early stages, making it far more expensive to treat later. Collins firmly opposes the Affordable Health Care Act. Hochul says she knows it has flaws, but it's time to get on with doing something else, like dealing with the economy. Closer to the Rochester area, Democratic incumbent Louise Slaughter leads Republican challenger Maggie Brooks in fundraising. Financial reports are out from the Federal Elections Commission in the campaign for the new 25th Congressional District. Together, both campaigns have pulled in $1,232,741, according to reports filed electronically on Thursday. These cover from the start of the year through June. Each candidate has spent only a fraction of what she has raised, so it appears we'll have a lot of advertising this summer and fall, even before counting national money from super PACs spent by those groups to influence your vote one way or the other. Republican Brooks has raised nearly $438,000 so far and spent just a little over $70,000 of it. Brooks has more than $367,000 cash on hand. Democrat Slaughter took in nearly $795,000. She has spent more than $321,000, and she still has twice that in the bank. Slaughter also pulled in $12,500 through a separate political action committee that she maintains. As you'd expect for an incumbent, Representative Slaughter gets a lot of her financial support from PACs. They make up 64% of her contributions this cycle, individual donations 36%. The top 5 donors to her PAC break down in the last quarter almost 50-50 between union and corporate money, plus some from a pro-law enforcement group. For County Executive Brooks, the story is 11% PACs, 89% individuals. And she doesn't have a separate political action committee, so we don't have the same sort of breakdown to give you on her donations. Rochester police are investigating 2 unrelated shooting incidents that happened early Thursday. A 22-year-old man was wounded in the first incident about 3 a.m., shot in the arm on Arborwood Lane. The injuries were non-life-threatening, and the victim was taken to Strong Memorial Hospital. Police already have a suspect in custody in connection with that incident. The second shooting came about an hour and a half later on North Street. In this case, the 44-year-old victim was shot and wounded, also taken to Strong for treatment with non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe he was shot by someone he knows. These are the latest in a string of gun assaults since the warm weather began, and police have stepped up patrols and car stops trying to get illegally owned guns before they're used in this way. In Greece, an Elmore Drive home was seriously damaged by fire early Thursday. The Ridge Road Fire District says nobody was hurt. The department was called about 2 a.m., got there to find the front porch on fire with the flames just catching the house. They had the fire out within 15 minutes. The Monroe County Fire Bureau is investigating the cause. You'll find links on this page to these and other stories. Down at the bottom in that gray bar, links for you to use. Post us directly what you know that's news or what interests you. Sports, salutes, business openings, anything like that. Next news will be as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.